What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Riv. Hey, today we got another special video. Today we're going to be reacting to WWE Backstage rules, traditions, wrestlers need to follow. First time, congrats on make sure that thumbs up, make sure y'all subscribe because your boy is almost at 5K. Let's continue to go crazy because we have been. As I say always, if you got any other videos, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you want me to react to in the comments. Look at that view, bro. That reminds me of WrestleMania 40. But, however, it was not the fireworks around the stadium. Bro, hold on, bro. It seems like the stage productions since Triple H has taken over, they haven't really been doing much stage production stuff. And when I say that, I mean like you remember how they used to have back in the day, they had Backlash, then they had the little hooks or something hanging from the sides of the stage, or they had TLC and they'll have a bunch of chairs coming down from the ceiling and all this other stuff. They don't do stuff like that no more. I just realized that most of the stage stuff is pretty basic. But anyway, that's off topic. Without further ado, let's look at these rules and traditions.
So much more than just a job. For wrestlers who made it to WWE, it's a lifestyle. That's one of the reasons why there are a lot of traditions, unwritten rules, and etiquette that wrestlers must follow when they get to WWE. Some of them you see on TV, while others are hidden backstage. One tradition you may notice when watching WWE is wrestlers wiping their feet on the edge of the ring. There are a few reasons why they do this. One is simply to help keep the ring clean. Garbage and other waste can attach themselves to a wrestler's boots, so to prevent it from being brought into the ring, wrestlers wipe off. Additionally, it's a sign of respect. Respect for the ring where many wrestlers have given their blood, sweat, tears, and lives, and where many more will in the future. Wrestlers also wipe their feet as a sign of respect to their colleagues who are performing later in the show by keeping the ring clean for them. This next tradition is hidden from fans, and you might not even know it exists. The tradition is cleaning up the locker room. When a new WWE wrestler joins the main roster, it's tradition for them to stay until after the show and clean up the locker room. Additionally, newer talent usually helps out the veteran talent by making sure the veterans have water available, towels, and other things. Newer wrestlers will continue to do this until a veteran tells them they don't have to. While this practice isn't done as much today, wrestlers like Aleister Black and Rusev both said they'd make sure to clean the locker room when they started wrestling on the main roster.
But that's in every sport though. If you think about it, right? If you've played sports and you played it on a level as high as college or even high school sports, when you're a freshman, they make you do everything. You carry the bags, you do everything, you do the cleaning up, you do all this other extra stuff that the veterans or the seniors don't have to do. That's pretty normal. At least I could say for the military, because if you don't know, I'm in the military. So in the military, the lowest rank, which are the newer people, they are the ones that have to do certain things. The more experienced people don't have to do those things because we've done it before when we were the younger guys. So it's pretty normal. That's pretty normal to me.
In fact, for Aleister Black, Roman Reigns was the person who told him he didn't have to clean up after the shows. Once that happened, it meant that Black had been accepted by the other WWE wrestlers and was part of the team. One other tradition that mostly newer WWE wrestlers need to follow is respecting veterans and main event talent. There are a lot of big wrestlers on the WWE roster, and sometimes the locker room gets pretty cramped. However, no matter how little room there is, everyone is expected to make space for veteran wrestlers and top talent like the world champions. Even if you've been in WWE for a while, if you're not a legend or a main event star, you're expected to give up space. If you don't, or if you do something that makes someone angry, you can get in trouble. The Miz infamously got kicked out of the locker room when he was a newcomer to WWE. He was eating some chicken and accidentally spilled some of it onto Chris Benoit's bags. Benoit had the Miz banned from the locker room, and the A-lister had to use the public bathrooms where the fans were. Finally, after the Miz had a match against Undertaker...
What? Bro, I would have just went in the hallway. I'm not going out there with the fans. Well, they probably didn't even know who he was at the time anyway, so I guess it don't matter, but that's messed up. I'm not going out there with the fans, bro. I'm not going to that bathroom.
The dead man allowed Miz back into the locker room. Similar to staying and taking care of the locker room, another tradition is that no one leaves until the show is over, even if you already had your match. The reasons for this are 1, to show respect to your fellow wrestlers, and 2, to watch the other matches and absorb as much knowledge as possible. This tradition isn't practiced by everyone, but according to Kevin Owens, when John Cena was around, Cena would make sure to watch every match in the show so he could see what the crowd was reacting to. Another tradition you'll see on TV from time to time is the receipt. A receipt means getting back at someone. During a match, a wrestler might get careless and accidentally punch or hit their opponent for real. If that happens, the wrestler that got hurt might issue a receipt. Usually it comes in the form of intentionally punching, kicking, or doing something to get even with your opponent. Now, a wrestler giving a receipt typically won't try to seriously injure anyone. It's just meant to be a little payback. Chris Jericho once got punched by Shane McMahon during a match, so Jericho gave Shane a receipt by kicking him in the face. Sometimes a wrestler will give a receipt on someone else's behalf. At One Night Stand in 2005, JBL infamously stopped attacking Blue Meanie for real and actually made him bleed. About a month later, the Blue Meanie and JBL were having a match. Stevie Richards interfered and gave JBL an extra hard chair shot to the head as a receipt. This unwritten rule kinda makes sense, but also doesn't. WWE wrestlers aren't supposed to talk about their matches. Regardless if a wrestler had a good match or a bad one, they aren't supposed to ask anyone how it went.
No,
when
that's
made it to WWE.
I don't believe that one. Sometimes tap out just be pulling stuff out that don't make sense, right? Because I've definitely seen videos of them talking about it. How did I do? How are you supposed to get feedback? Like, how are you supposed to know what you need to work on, all this kind of stuff? Because if you don't, I'm talking too fast. If you don't reach out and ask somebody else how you did, because you can't watch yourself at the time. You can't watch it until you go back and watch the whole thing. So how are you supposed to know how you did if somebody don't tell you? Unless you're just going to be quiet about it and go back and watch it on your own.
It's expected that you can gauge matches on your own and don't need advice or validation from others. If a wrestler has a match that was bad, they need to accept it and make sure their next match is better. Likewise, if a wrestler had a really good match, he or she should not brag about it. Similarly, when a wrestler wins a championship, it's an unwritten rule that you show it off only when necessary. This is to help prevent egos from getting out of check and to help keep good locker room morale. This is something you probably never thought about, but in WWE, wrestlers are all supposed to speak English, and it's not for the reason you might expect. Sure, WWE shows are all done in English, and that is part of it. However, the real reason wrestlers are all supposed to talk in English is so they can communicate during matches. Wrestlers will often talk to their opponents secretly during a match to discuss what moves they're going to perform next. It's incredibly important, since a misunderstanding could lead to a bad match, or even worse, someone getting injured. This is perhaps the reason why the original Sin Cara would often botch moves during his matches, since he did not speak English. To help avoid this,
bro, Sin Cara spoke English, man. You ain't gonna be in the WWE if you can't even speak English, bro. They all speak English. They all talk. That's just their character. You can't tell me Sin Cara don't speak English and he was in the WWE for that long. How's he supposed to know anything that's going on if he can't speak English? I don't believe that. That's all I be saying. Sometimes Tap Out, I love his videos, but sometimes Tap Out don't be making sense, bro.
Cara would often botch moves during his matches since he did not speak English. To help avoid this, all WWE wrestlers are told to communicate in English. Not all WWE traditions are serious, some of them are fun. WWE wrestlers are on the road a lot and need to stay positive. One way they do this is by pranking each other, or ribbing, as it's called. When X-Pac was new in WWE, a bunch of wrestlers got him drunk on his 21st birthday and shaved off his eyebrows while he was passed out. Unfortunately for X-Pac, WWE was taking promo pics the very next day, so he ended up having no eyebrows when they took them.
That's OD. Nah, somebody... That's not no prank, bruh. Dude, my action figure has me with no eyebrows because y'all wanted to play? Nah, bruh. That's wild. That right there, that would start a fight with me because I like my eyebrows. That would start a fight with me. Like, I would have to, nah. That's too far.
Luchadors like Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Kalisto are some of the coolest wrestlers of all time. However, wearing a mask comes with a few rules that luchadors must follow. There's actually an official commission in Mexico that makes sure wrestlers are obeying these rules. This is because the mask is seen as a wrestler's biggest possession, even more important than championships. So what are the rules that a masked luchador must follow? Well, first, if you lose your mask, you can't wear it ever again. If a wrestler loses a mask versus mask match, he or she must unmask and is never allowed to compete with that mask again.
With that mask. Okay, I was gonna say, because didn't Rey Mysterio lose a mask match?
The reason is to protect the integrity of mask versus mask matches, or any match where a luchador puts their mask on the line. If someone just kept wearing their mask after losing, then a luchador putting their mask on the line wouldn't have any value. This is why mask versus mask matches are such a big deal in Mexico. If a luchador loses his or her mask, they are still allowed to wrestle, but they have two options: wrestle without a mask or create a new character and wear a new mask. If a luchador breaks the rules and continues wearing their original mask, the Lucha Libre Commission can actually fine them. In fact, there was some controversy over this rule with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
While wrestling in WCW in 1999, Mysterio teamed up with Conan to take on Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in a hair versus mask match. Rey ended up losing and was forced to unmask on live TV. Mysterio honored the rule and wrestled without his mask until WCW shut down in 2001. Even when he returned to Mexico, Rey still did not wear his mask. However, when Rey Mysterio joined WWE in 2002, Vince McMahon personally requested that Mysterio bring back his mask. Rey went to the Lucha Libre Commission and asked for permission to wear his mask again. Despite some outrage from fans, the commission gave Rey the okay, since Mysterio didn't lose his mask in a traditional mask vs. mask match, and it didn't happen in Mexico. However, a few
Okay. So that would change everything about the history of Rey Mysterio if he still had no mask. Rey Mysterio would not be the person he is right now. He would not be the Hall of Famer he is right now. And he probably wouldn't even have ever made it that far in WWE. His talent, his skills, yes, but his mask, his size, his abilities made him stand out. And without his mask, he's not the same.
few years later, WWE wanted to do shows in Mexico. The Lucha Libre Commission was okay with that, but they wanted Rey to wrestle without his mask, since he had already performed in the country without it. After a few discussions, the Master of the 619 was able to get the okay and wrestled in Mexico with his mask again. It might seem like Rey Mysterio was given special privileges, and while that could be true, there is another explanation. When wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer was asked about this, he revealed that the Lucha Libre Commission isn't as strict about the rules as they once were. This is also likely why Juventud Guerrera, who was also unmasked in WCW, was allowed to wear his mask again later in his career. After a luchador is unmasked, it's not just their face that gets revealed, but their identity as well.
Man, hold on, bro. I forgot
Immediately
what I was
after
gonna say.
unmasking, the wrestler's legal name, age, years wrestled, and birthplace is all revealed. This is also enforced by the Lucha Libre Commission and can be a really big deal, especially if it turns out that the unmasked
Oh, I remember. He said Rey Mysterio gets special privileges. Rey Mysterio might be the most famous luchador ever. Unless there's somebody in Mexico that I don't know about. But at least in the US, he's the most world known. In America, at least. Like, he's the most famous masked wrestler, Rey Mysterio. If you've been to a flea market before, I don't know if you have, depending on where you're from, right? Obviously, I'm from North Carolina, so I know I'm wearing Atlanta, but I'm from North Carolina. I went to the flea market numerous times in my life. There's a certain stores that have Rey Mysterio masks for sale. Like, they sell Rey Mysterio masks. They're not these ones that they have on the screen right here. They're Rey Mysterio masks. They got the little eagle or whatever kind of bird that is. They got the bird on the side of the mask. It's Rey Mysterio's mask. Got the cross on the forehead. That is Rey Mysterio's mask, bro. And they were selling it. Rey Mysterio is the most known lucha wrestler. That's why he gets special privileges. If he does get special privileges, and even if he didn't, he should, because it's Rey Mysterio.
luchador is part of a famous lucha family. In the age of the internet and social media, some of this information is already publicly available, even for luchadors who haven't been unmasked. However, there are a number of masked wrestlers today whose true identity is still a secret. Fans still don't know the real name of former WWE wrestler Grand Metalik. Even the names of current AEW wrestlers like Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix are unknown to everyone except close family and friends. This one is more of an unwritten rule, but
Rey Fenix is nice. If you don't know who Rey Fenix is, bruh, this dude, I did a video on him. I'm gonna put it in this. Rey Fenix is bro, he's the best high flyer I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen nobody do the stuff this man did. The video is gonna be old, so it's gonna be kind of, my camera quality and all that stuff gonna look different. You know, the voice might be a little delayed on the mic, but look, I'll fix that now. But I'm gonna put that video at the end of this. and I'm telling you right now, watch it because it's gonna be the craziest moves you've ever seen in your life.
One, except close family
This
and
dude is
friends.
amazing.
This one is more of an unwritten rule, but even when they aren't competing, masked wrestlers almost always wear their masks. One of the most famous luchadors, El Santo, was very serious about this and would even wear his mask when he went out to eat. Even masked wrestlers who aren't luchadors will still cover their faces when they are out in public. Before King was unmasked, he would wrap a towel or wear a ski mask when entering arenas so fans wouldn't know what he really looked like. So if masked luchadors wear their masks even in public, what do they do when they need to fly on a plane? In situations like this, where a luchador can't wear his or her mask, they'll travel unmasked. If a masked luchador is following the rules, nobody will know what he or she actually looks like.
Yeah, nobody
and they
not
can
gonna know who it
travel
is
without their
anyway.
identity getting revealed. However, the masked luchador will usually travel alone, without any of their fellow wrestlers, to prevent people from getting suspicious. This has become harder and harder, thanks to almost everyone having a phone that can take pictures and the ability to share them instantly with the world via social media. When WWE does shows in Saudi Arabia, you'll notice something unusual. All the female wrestlers wear special gear that covers almost their entire bodies. The male wrestlers wear their regular attires, so why do the women change up their look? The reason is that they have to by law. Saudi
religious
Arabia's
thing.
legal system is based on Sharia law, which comes from Islam and is a code for Muslims to live by. Part of Sharia is dressing modestly, and this has influenced dress laws in Saudi Arabia, especially for women. When in public or around men, women are expected to cover almost their entire body and wear loose-fitting clothes that don't show off their figure. These rules also apply to WWE when they do shows in Saudi Arabia. In 2019, when Natalya and Lacey Evans fought in the country's first ever women's wrestling match, they wore full-body attires that only exposed their hands and heads. Additionally, they wore t-shirts to comply with the law and not reveal their figure. These rules are so strict that the Saudi General Sports Authority had to apologize publicly when WWE aired a commercial at the Greatest Royal Rumble event that showed female wrestlers in their normal attire because it was an indecent scene. This is likely the same reason why WWE removed the clips of the female dancers from DX's entrance graphics during their reunion match in 2018. However, these dress code rules are starting to change.
I thought they just took it out because it was PG.
In early 2022, at the Elimination Chamber event in Jeddah, the female WWE stars didn't have to wear any shirts, just their bodysuits. This comes as Saudi Arabia's dress code and other laws are starting to become more relaxed. Saudi Arabia's rules about clothes aren't the only thing that make it a unique venue for WWE. Some wrestlers weren't even allowed to wrestle in the country. When Aleister Black was part of the WWE roster, he was not allowed to be part of the Saudi Arabia shows. The reason was that Aleister's tattoos had some religious connotations that were seen as offensive. It's unclear if the decision was made by the Saudi Arabia government or if WWE was being proactive and decided not to bring Aleister Black to avoid upsetting the hosts.
What if he covered it up?
Another wrestler you won't see on most WWE shows in Saudi Arabia is Sami Zayn.
What? He's been on every Saudi Arabia show that I've seen. The last two, at least.
Another wrestler you won't see on most WWE shows in Saudi Arabia is Sami Zayn. This is because Zayn is of Syrian descent. Why this is an issue is due to Saudi Arabia and Syria's strained relationship.
Bro,
like with Black, it's not clear.
He was there the last two times and the crowd popped as soon as he came out. What is it? That's what I be talking about with Tap Out, bruh.
If the Saudi government specifically told WWE not to have Sami Zayn on their shows, or if this is WWE's decision. However, Sami Zayn did wrestle during a WWE show in the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, in 2014. However, that show was not televised, which may explain why Sami Zayn was allowed to wrestle. What makes this even more interesting is that while Aleister Black and Sami Zayn were banned, Doudrop and Sonya Deville have been allowed to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Doudrop is bisexual and Sonya Deville is lesbian. Gay marriage is not legal in Saudi Arabia, and in fact, the punishment for homosexuality is death. This, as well as WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia in general, have been criticized. Despite some pushback, WWE continues to regularly host events in the country. The reason comes down to
giving
money.
them billions of dollars.
WWE is paid a reported $50 million for each show they do in Saudi Arabia. Additionally, wrestlers can make a lot of money too. It was said that Shawn Michaels was paid $3 million for his tag team match with Triple H in 2018.
Whoa!
Apply with the law.
Well, we know that video got chopped down by copyrights because that was not supposed to be the end. I don't want to look at Natalya. She's going to make me mad. Y'all know how I feel about Natalya. But look, bruh. I don't believe that Sami Zayn thing is not true. This man was at the last two Saudi Arabia shows, bruh. He was at the last two. And they cheered for him. Anyway, y'all got any else? Oh my gosh, I can't even think now. If you got anything else y'all want me to react to in particular, let me know down in the comments, man. I appreciate all y'all for even watching. Like I always say, man, like this video, subscribe if you're new. It's your boy D Rib, man. I'm shocked.